guys, here's your weekly wisdom insight for this week. So, I've been thinking a lot about the inner dialogue, the conversation that we have with ourselves every single day. So, thousands of thoughts can flow through our minds daily. If we're navigating life on autopilot, we're not tuning in or paying attention to the conversation, that inner dialogue that's happening with ourselves at all times. So, one thing that I learned in my yoga practice is the art of tuning in, the art of paying attention to how my thoughts were showing up in my practice. So, I practice hot yoga, and when the temperature rises in the room, the pose gets a little challenging or difficult for me. I started to really tune into how I was speaking to myself. I learned, unfortunately, early on that I was very, very hypercritical, judgmental, and just not really nice to myself while I was practicing yoga. And then that translated to just my day to day and how I started to tune in, pay attention to the story and the inner dialogue that I was just carrying with myself throughout the day, being hypercritical, being self-judgmental, really not being kind to myself. So I think it's really important that we tune into the thinking, the inner dialogue that's happening daily in our lives so that we can make sure that we practice non-judgment, self-kindness, self-compassion. Because when we can be kind to ourselves, we can be kind to others. But when we judge ourselves, then we judge others. And I think that that has been my biggest lesson that I got out of my yoga practice. It's made me a more compassionate leader, a more empathetic leader. And I think that especially right now, that the moment calls on us to really be understanding of people that might not agree with us at all times in leadership spaces, but how can we practice some compassion and some kindness? And I think self-compassion and self-kindness starts with us, and then we can translate it out. So here's your reminder to really pay attention, tune into the thoughts going on in your mind, and make sure that you're showing up your best for you, and then that you're showing up your best for others when you're leading. If these weekly wisdom insights are compelling and helpful to you, please follow along, give it a like, give it a share, and I'll see you back next week.